I just wanted to jump on here and let you know about a story. I just got off the phone with a person in human resources, and they were telling me a story about an employee who came into the room who was extremely tearful, who had been struggling with some job performance issues, but mostly was feeling really overwhelmed with the workload that they were experiencing. So what that human resource professional told me was they provided the EAP to them and said, okay, call this number. Great. Okay. They then said, go on back to work and see what you can finish for today. So here's the problem with several pieces of that. To provide a resource without any additional support, that right there is problematic, because if somebody is coming into your office crying because they're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of work that they are doing, first of all, you need to sit and listen to what the problem is. It may be something as simple as adjusting the work schedule. It could be something as simple as allowing them time to work from home instead of spending an hour or two commuting to work. And it could be something as simple as perhaps there's somebody that they're working with that is causing additional stress because they're taking some of the load from them. And so if you don't listen, if you don't really listen to the challenges that your employees are coming into the room with, you can't really help them. An EAP is like a Band-Aid, basically. It's a great thing for people who need that immediate mental health support. However, there are some things that you can do above and beyond that. First of all, being trained in how to identify some of the symptoms of depression or anxiety, or even PTSD. Somebody who's coming into your office tearful, there's a reason for it, right? There's a reason, and you need to know what that reason is, or at least have additional resources besides just the EAP to help support them. Another thing that you can do is ask them, what type of help do they need? And then stop and listen. Again, the listening part is so important. And then being able to reframe back to them and rephrase it and say, okay, I hear that you're struggling with this. Let's see what we can put into place so then you don't feel overwhelmed anymore. Another piece is being able to cause some sort of prevention. So even before the employee came in crying, this obviously is somebody coming in and asking for help. With appropriate training, you'll be able to identify how exactly to see if there's any sort of challenges that somebody's having, if they're starting to decrease in their productivity, if they're starting to appear more stressed out, if they're coming in maybe 5-10 minutes later than usual, they're sitting out in the parking lot not wanting to come into the building until right at clock-in time. There's so many other things that you can identify as somebody who's potentially struggling, and then you can approach them even before they come into the room crying and feeling overwhelmed. You can provide those sort of preventative strategies by first getting trained in how to identify some of these mental health challenges. So that's just a tidbit that I had listening to this story about a human resource professional saying, I did what I could, I gave them the EAP. But again, if you're trained in being able to identify some of those mental health challenging symptoms, you can help prevent even that person coming into the room crying. And then also, if you do have the appropriate training on how to support somebody that way, you can also give them additional supports above and beyond the EAP. There's so many other resources out there that human resource professionals just are not aware of. So I would love to talk with you more on how to have that preventative training for yourself, for your staff, for your leaders. So then when employees are coming into the workplace, they do feel supported, and it doesn't get to the point where they are coming into your office crying, because at that point, the overwhelm is above and beyond. So feel free to message me, or I'll put the Calendly link on here to book a call with me. I would love to talk with you how I can finish and how I can fully support you in the mental health training of you and your leadership team. All right, I'll talk with you soon.